everyone. I hope you are enjoying your day. I hope you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing something that challenges you every single day. Okay, maybe not every day, but on most days. Well, guess what? I have a video treat for you today. That's right, a video treat. I'm interviewing a young lady. I would say that she's a successful career woman, a mover and shaker in the city of Cincinnati. She lives and works in the city of Cincinnati, Ohio. Chanel Roberts is her name. She has been a child care worker, I think she said, for the past 18 years. She was in the classroom as a preschool teacher and also working with toddlers and infants. I had the opportunity to interview this young, inspirational young lady, and she dropped so many words of encouragement, words of wisdom. She had a lofty goal, Chanel did. She became a director of a child care center. And she talks about in this interview the mindset that was required in order for her to reach her goal. She is currently a director of a child care center. That is her dream job. She had to challenge the self-limiting beliefs within her mind to get her there. I think you'll certainly find Chanel very inspiring as I did. Her story is amazing. You'll hear a dog barking in the background. Just ignore that. Chanel was kind enough to invite me into her home on a Saturday morning. She, like many of us, has a busy schedule. She's raising 4 children with her fiance. So she welcomed me into her home Saturday morning to do an interview. So it was a busy household, just like my households are on Saturday mornings. But Chanel was open. Chanel was honest, and she was very candid in telling her story. Now, this young lady is amazing. She blew my head off many times. Please listen for the nuggets of wisdom that you will find throughout this video. And she was dropping some serious knowledge. So anyway, this is my interview. And by the way, Chanel is my niece. I am so proud of her. The intent behind all of the questions today is to hopefully that she will inspire you just as much as she has inspired me. So I am going to stop talking and I am going to allow my niece, Chanel Roberts, to tell us a little bit about yourself, Chanel.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Chanel Roberts. I am from Cincinnati, Ohio, born and raised. I am currently a child care center director. I've been in the child care field for a long but wonderful 18 years now. So I spent 11 years as a pre-kindergarten teacher. The years before that, just kind of shifting around between toddlers and not preschoolers, but infant. So right now I've stepped out of the classroom and I have stepped into management, which is super exciting, but it's new. And as we talked about comfort zones, it's way out of my comfort zone. However, I love it. I really love it. So.
Well, tell me a little bit about some of the, maybe you've been a director. How long did you say you have been a director?
Director, just 7 months now.
7 months.
Super exciting.
Well, so tell me a little bit about some of the challenges that you face as doing something new that you've never done before.
Challenge is, as far as management, tough because I am now the leader, the role model, so I set the tone. So the most challenging part about being in management is overseeing other individuals. So stepping into this, I'll be honest and say that, I'm looking into it, more for the children. Ooh, I get to run the center, I get to do this for the children, set things up like that, and honestly not thinking so much about running the staff. So once I got in and that management and having to handle situations as a boss and as a manager really hit me hard because I was so used to being an employee. So I'm in, the likable person as an employee, fun, happy, always excited or whatever. And I learned in management really quick that, not saying that I'm not a likable person, but when you have to set rules and put rules in place and sometimes correct others, you become the unlikable person really quick.
Absolutely.
Not long. They're learning, getting to know me. I'm starting to build trusted relationships. So I would say the most challenging part for me in the management position is staff, of course, and learning just how to build those trusting relationships to get everyone comfortable with me, and also having them understand, like, it's a business, and there are rules we have to follow, things we have to do to keep the business running, but also doing it in the way, that makes them feel comfortable, all in how you talk to people and approach situations, and think of it as, treat people how I want to be treated.
Absolutely.
Because I've had bad bosses. So
wow. Well, tell me a little bit about your goals in terms of, this sounds like a dream job. Sounds like a dream job for you.
absolutely.
And so how did you, how did you get there? Because a lot of times we have goals.
hmm
And so what did you do? What was the,
I really had to push myself, because for a long time I was stuck and comfortable in a position, afraid to move on and attack and go after my dreams. My ultimate, goal, my dream is to someday own my own center. This was way back 10, 11 years ago. Or I've always wanted to own my own center, but it was 10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago when I'm like, I should do it. I wrote out a business plan, started looking into ways to open a business, and then just stopped because I was afraid, like, I could never do this. I could do it, but I don't know. I'm going to fail. So having those thoughts, and stayed in that comfortable position, didn't move on. I loved the job and the center I was working at. I had been there 11 years, but it was just like it wasn't taking me anywhere. I wasn't learning anything. I wasn't moving forward. I was a preschool teacher there. That was it. So I probably could have moved up into the management position, but I was afraid. So fearing, the fear and the thought of failing, I stayed in that comfortable position. Maybe 2016, to be exact. I'm like thinking about this whole center director thing and running my own center. And I'm like, you know what? I just have to do it. So I think my first biggest step was getting out of that center I was working in and making that biggest move. And it was a huge move for me because I had been there for 11 years, and it was like I was comfortable and I was afraid to move on. And I'm like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen when I leave? Will I make it somewhere else? Could I do it? In my heart of hearts, like, I know I can. I know I could do. It's just that fear of change, something different. So started filling out job applications for Cincinnati Public in particular. Just one big move. I did it, and I think that's the best thing that I've done for myself. I stayed with Cincinnati Public for about 2 years. Was not what I wanted. I wanted to be a director, but that was, for me, it was a huge accomplishment leaving where I was stuck, being in that comfortable position. So when I moved on from that position, I'm like, I can do it. Like, I can do it. I just told myself I can do it. So I did it, and here I am, a center director now.
well, I tell you what, we talk about, progress doesn't have to be these quantum leaps, these huge steps. It's all about taking the first step and then leading to the next step. We always think we got to do something big and massive. Yeah.
Baby steps.
And so tell me a little bit about that in terms of, you were sitting there one day, because this is one of the things that really, really intrigues me. You're sitting there one day and you're like, I really want to do something. And then for something happened in your mind that said, you know what? I'm gonna go do it.
Right.
Like, cause most people
it was just
stay
like it
stuck.
just hit me, right? So I'm gonna share the story I shared with you about the Talbert House. So I was, like I said, I had been doing childcare before stopping, like 16 years. So I was working for Cincinnati Public, working with preschool disability children. Um, Most of the children who struggled with behavioral disabilities or behavioral issues. I was just shocked with the things I experienced with the 3, 4, and 5-year-old children, the behaviors, the language, the aggressiveness, the violence, you know. And, I went home and I talked to my fiance, and it was like so heartbreaking to me. And the teachers were like amazed by my patience. And I'm like, I think I was more shocked in what I saw in the children and their behaviors than the patients. It was like more heartbreaking to watch the kids behave that way. So I was talking to my fiance one day, thinking nothing of it, and I'm like, I would love to get out into the community and get into the homes and see what's going on with these moms. That I would, if I could, I would love to help some way. So on Easter Sunday, 2017, was it? 2018, I believe. Easter Sunday, I'm laying in bed, doing my hair, doing my eyelashes, and there's a news segment on community health workers here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and the need for community health workers, just individuals who could get out in the community and connect others to healthcare, and and it's so much more than that than healthcare, because I learned once I got into this position that there are deeper issues that prevent individuals from getting their healthcare needs or whatever. But anyway, this was a Sunday. I seen the CEO of the company. The next day on a Monday, I called the company and, took the training courses, got enrolled in that, went through that the entire summer. And then when August came around, completed the training, graduated, got my certificate, and started working at the Talbert House as a community care coordinator, part of the maternal and child health program. So I was working with moms, local moms out in the community, a lot of the, struggling neighborhoods or whatever like that. So I think the most interesting part about that was I was working with mothers, and one of the things that was interesting to me was finding that a lot of these moms struggled. Homelessness was a big issue, and just the, I guess, say the lack of accessibility to resources, them not being aware of certain resources they can use to get what they needed. So my job was to help connect these mothers to the resources, and just figure out what's going on where they couldn't get the things they need. So I was that person to help them.
That sounds like that really inspired you.
It was very inspiring. It was tough work. It was really hard work. And what I found is I'm spiritual, so I believe God put me in that position for a reason. I did not stay doing that work. After that, that's when I stepped into the position as to being the center director. The great thing about that is working in, the lower income neighborhood, being able to take what I learned at the Talbert House and knowing what moms face, some of the struggles they dealt with, and being able to bring the resources back to the child care center. And understanding too why, days when moms are upset, and a lot of times, some of the staff will feel like they're so angry and they're taking it out on us. And it gave me the opportunity and chance to explain to my staff, like, what, it's not us. Let's think about what happened before they got there, or, arrived at the center, or what happened, or what's going on in their lives to make them come in and lash out on us. So sometimes it's like, for me as the leader, like, to explain that and help my staff understand that, but also to reach out to the mothers. And, is everything okay? Is there something I can help with? You'll find that
that is
the case, though.
I love that. That is because it sounds like, I'm just listening to you. It sounds like that's your passion. Like, this is your passion.
It is my true passion.
You are living that.
And working with children, for sure. Children and families, like, that's my thing. Stepping out into the community and working with moms in their homes. I love that. That's a passion as well. But more so being in the center with the children and the families. But I feel like God put me in that position, out in the homes with the moms, because he wanted me to see, like, you asked, and here, I'm going to put you there, I'm going to let you see it. This is what, some of these families are going through. This is what they're dealing with. So I can take it back to where I am now, and I have a better understanding, and I have a better way to help.
You spoke about being a spiritual,
Mm-hmm.
and you feel like God put you in the place of the Talbert House. So
I know he did. I could tell you, like, if I have never believed in God, like, I do. I'm not saying that I didn't.
No,
but,
I know
like,
exactly what you.
it just, every time I talk about it, I literally get chills because it's like, I mean, he knew what I wanted, and he put me there. But it's like he took me in this huge circle just to put me back. Like, he know where I need to be.
Absolutely.
I want to be a director. That's where he put me.
Right. That's amazing.
And I needed the thick skin for it. I didn't have that thick skin. So it's like positions that he had, like, just doing this is completely out of my comfort zone. Like, I would never. I mean, people are like, you spoke? I did a speech too.
Tell me about that.
I spoke at a breastfeeding conference back in 2018 as well. And I'm like telling you, like, I've been at the Talbert House 4 or 5 months, and then they're asking me to speak, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. But people are seeing the greatness in me that I have not seen in myself. So it's like, you know what, Chanel, wake up. Wake up, because there is, I do have great pieces about me.
Yes,
so there's some great things about me. Absolutely. And I'm like, I need to see it because it's no good if you're seeing it and I'm not doing anything about it.
Hello. Well, tell me about the next steps. Tell me about what are your future plans. And
I know. One of my goals, of course, I spoke with you about, is opening up my own child care center. Mm-hmm. Right now. And like I said, I'm going with the flow. I'm not pushing anything. It's my time. But right now, it's like I'm not pushing. I'm not ready right now. And then I may feel that I'm not ready. But I may have that drive. Like, I didn't think I was ready to be a center director, but here I am. No experience, no background. But someone trusted me enough to allow me to run their child care center. And very pleased with what I'm doing, where she was able to step out and say, I trust leaving you. If I didn't trust you, I wouldn't leave my center to leave you there. So that's like a true blessing. So I said, when that time comes to do that, to take that next step and open in my own, I'll do that. Mm-hmm. But right now I'm going with the flow. Mm-hmm. I'm taking in the lessons, I'm learning. I would honestly say, like, I'm not ready right now because it's so much into running a center. Absolutely. And I don't want to, and like we said, that could be that thing too, the fear of failure or whatever. Mm-hmm. It's not that I don't want to do it. I just want to make sure I'm doing it the right way. Absolutely. And just managing a child care center is enough in itself. So to manage and then handle finances and things like that is a big step. I know I can do it. And when it's my time, I will do it.
Wow, that's goodness. Well, when you said that and you're talking about that, I'm thinking about, being looking at the stages. Mm-hmm. as you progress. You were saying, this is my learning stage right now. Mm-hmm. This right here, I'm being molded. Mm-hmm. Like I'm being, absolutely, like you were before you got to this point when you were at the Talbert House. Right. I mean, it's almost looking at the stages.
Weird. Like I think I get so excited about the story. Like I can't even tell it the proper way because I'm like, oh my God, like the way it happened, it was just crazy. But to say simply, like, I think God is putting me through these things to prepare me for where I'm going to be, for where I'm going to skin first. And I could say, like, if I didn't have those experiences with the Talbert House, and if I didn't go through Cincinnati Public, if I didn't take up that leadership position at the Talbert House, it's not like so much, I didn't manage or anything, but, the being a speaker and me being that person to go out into women's homes and, talk with them and, just being that person and even handling tough situations. I don't think, I would have been strong in this position right now. So I think I
Right.
learned so much. It may sound like a little in so little time, but I've learned so much in these last 2 years. And not saying like I have super duper thick skin now, but I'm getting thicker and I'm getting stronger as time go on because I'm still learning. And I
Right.
have those moments when I've like cried and I'm like I've doubted myself and it's like I don't know, like is this for me? Can I do it? And I pick myself right back up and I say, I can do this. I got this. I made it this far and I'm gonna do it.
I am
So
so
and if I
proud
made
of
it
you.
this far, I got it.
Yes,
I got it like woo!
that's
I
right.
got it.
What we say, God didn't bring you this far just to bring
Right,
you this far.
right.
Absolutely. Is there
So
anything else that you wanted to talk about, wanted to add, wanted to discuss
I did
before
want to
we?
discuss the challenges part.
Mhm.
What
Yeah, so it was tell me, let's see, what was that? What are some of the biggest challenges that you've overcome to get to where you are?
okay, so with that, and that's what I was asking you about too, like if it makes any sense.
Mhm.
Like it was me. I was
Mm.
that person challenging myself, if that makes any sense. If it
Mhm.
don't,
It
I'll
does.
let you
It really
allow
does.
me to clear it up.
No, because I know
Um,
exactly what you're saying. We are in our way. That
right,
we are
exactly.
in our way.
And I felt like, we have things that happen in our lives that go on and that can hold us back and sometimes hinder us from doing what we need to do. But I was that person holding myself back because I was afraid and I feared failure. So it was like I didn't push myself. It was like I accepted being where I was and saying like, you know what, I'm not even gonna try. But at some point I got tired and I'm like, this can't be my life. I want to do more. I want to learn more. I know it sounds crazy and that's like true, but I want to learn more. And I'm glad I did because when I know in childcare where I was, we didn't do a lot of trainings. I mean, we just didn't. And I love the place. Not knocking it. It was a great place. But I wasn't learning. I wasn't
Wow.
reaching my fullest potential. And I learned when I got out into childcare where everybody was moving ahead, I was behind. Even though I feel like I'm great, I know I'm great in what I do, but the way the state's moving on with childcare and how they're teaching, excuse me, teaching the children, I was left behind because I chose to stay. I chose to stay behind. But I'm catching up and I'm glad, like, moving on, I'm learning. So I would say I held myself back.
Mhm.
I held
Mhm.
myself back.
Right. Right.
And then a friend once told me, because they know I'm a very fearful person, that there's nothing to fear but fear itself.
Hello.
So I hold on to that quote
Wow.
because I feel like that's true. You fear things and you lose out on things. You miss great opportunities and you just hold yourself back for so many opportunities.
Absolutely. We talk about fear and putting fear in a in its perspective because fear is part of natural law. We need fear to help us
Right.
to be prepared for whatever and to be but a lot of times we take fear and we put it in a context that it doesn't serve us, and it's not really allowing us to grow and to growth our growth
Right.
potential.
Right.
And so fear just sometimes halts. And I know for me,
For
I've
sure.
I've definitely been
For
there
sure.
and seen those challenges. Wow, you have definitely, like, didn't I tell y'all she is a very inspiring young lady? I mean, like, this young lady is
Thank
amazing
you.
to me. Is there anything else that you want to add? Anything else that you want to tell the folks? Give us some words of encouragement. Those of us who are stuck, a lot of times I get people contact me saying, I need to leave my job. I need to do something
Right.
different.
And if that's what you feel you need to do, do it. Do it because I mean, holding yourself back, you lose out on so much. And that's what I did. Like, and I wouldn't even say like it was a waste of time. Like, I just felt like it wasn't my time.
Wow.
But don't get in that thought to constantly have to say, it's not my time, it's not my time. If you feel, and if you're feeling it and because I knew, go, it's time to move on. Don't be afraid to move on.
Wow.
Go.
That's
Fear. Let's
amazing.
like get rid of that fear because you hold yourself back and you miss out on opportunities. Um, and then we're all amazing. Like it's in you, it's in us to do what we want to do. We just have to take that extra step and do it.
Wow.
We
Like
have
I
to
always
do it.
say, jump and build your wings because
Mhm.
that is key.
I'm
That
like
is
so
crucial.
proud of myself. Not to toot my own
No,
horn or
you have
anything,
to.
but
You have
I'm
to.
like, I just can't believe, I'm a center director. And that was, and my brother would tell you, that was my dream. And he would be one to fuss at me like, man, you can do it, like do it. And I just got tired of sitting and not doing it. And, oh, I'm afraid of this and I'm afraid of that. But if you sit and you're constantly afraid, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to do anything. You miss out on so much. So it's like, do it, shoot, take that leap. That's what I did. I just did it without thinking about it anymore. Go and do it.
Wow, that's amazing.
Because even if, failure may happen sometimes. And when I do, if I choose to take that leap as owning and running my own business, you can't not do it because the fear of failing. You just have to accept that, it is a possibility, but I tried. I tried.
Wow.
And then if that happens and you do fail, that doesn't mean like it's done for you. It can never happen. You sit down, what went wrong, and go for it again.
Yeah, well, I always talk about failure as a feedback loop
Mm-hmm.
where, oh, I can't do that. Let me try it this way.
Mhm.
Oh, I can't do that. Let me try it this way. I always say the most successful people
Mhm.
failed more than any of us
Mhm.
because they just didn't let failure stop them.
Exactly.
We
can't.
Yeah,
We can't.
yeah, we all fail, but some of us, it propels us to the next level and to the next challenges. So,
And that's where we get some of our best lessons.
oh my
That's where
goodness,
we learn,
isn't that true?
more.
Yeah.
But giving up is not an option. I'm not a quitter. I would have quit a long time ago.
Hello.
Especially in this position. But I'm not a quitter. It's like, what did I do wrong last week? Or, what could I have done better? You sit down and you think about it. I can't tell you how many times I hit that drawing board, back to the drawing board, back to the drawing board. So it's like something, and you have to be willing to put in the work. You have to be willing to put in the work because it's not easy. It's not easy. You gotta be strong.
You said it.
You gotta be strong.
Faith without action. How dare we ask God for something and not move our feet?
And I feel like, honestly, what I told you, I got chills right now. Just what I call it the circle, or that circle he took me in to get me back to where I was. It's like I can't, how dare me, give up and not go for my dream, because I felt like God put me here and he took me through what he took me through because he wanted to show me I can do it, and also just give me that strength, you can do it. And the best thing about that, because there's nothing greater than doing what you love to do. Everything I've done, even though the social work part is not my thing, but it is my thing because I'm not doing it out in the community with the women. That was a tough piece for me, but I'm back with the children and I'm still working with families. So I am still able to help families with what I learned, what I was doing. So, yeah, I have to keep pushing.
Wow.
I have to keep pushing. I wouldn't dare give up.
Yeah.
I just can't, because what he's done for me is super amazing.
Wow. Thank you, God. Well, you are super amazing. And I want to thank you so much for allowing me to come into your home this Saturday morning.
Yeah,
it's a Saturday morning, y'all. And she's allowed me to come in and disrupt Saturday morning. But I know it was good and it was purposeful because you're so inspiring. And I wanted to share some of your words of wisdom with the folks out there as we work through our challenges. And there's going to be challenges, but we can push on. So with that all being said, remember, growth happens outside of your comfort zone, and jump and build your wings.
Jump. Do it.
You can do it. Thank you. Oh, it was so good. It was such a good interview. Thank you.